Imagine standing deep inside an ancient rainforest, wrapped in an impenetrable blanket of equatorial mist, where the silence is so heavy you can hear the moisture dripping from primeval leaves. Suddenly, out of the emerald shadow, a 400-pound silverback mountain gorilla steps into the light, fixing you with an ancient, knowing gaze that seems to compress thousands of years of human and natural history into a single breath. Just a few hundred miles to the north, the longest river on Earth, the mighty Nile, is violently forced through a narrow rock canyon no wider than a city street, roaring with hydraulic fury as millions of gallons of churning water plunge into a misty abyss below. And across wide, sun-drenched savannas, an unprecedented natural mystery unfolds. Pride after pride of African lions abandoning the hot grassland floor to sleep high up in the spreading branches of ancient sycamore fig trees. These are not separate worlds, nor are they scenes from a Hollywood fantasy. This is Uganda, a land where the seemingly impossible is an everyday reality, and where nature operates under rules found nowhere else on the planet. Yet, despite its overwhelming natural grandeur, Uganda remains one of the most deeply misunderstood, underappreciated, and mischaracterized nations on Earth. For decades, global narratives have reduced this extraordinary country to simplified headlines or distant historical footnotes. But behind the stereotypes lies a land of breathtaking complexity, profound human warmth, and ecological wonders that challenge everything we thought we knew about Africa. To understand Uganda, you must first understand its place upon the physical spine of the African continent. Straddling the equator in the heart of the East African Rift System, this landlocked nation spans roughly 93,000 square miles, an area compact enough to cross in a few days, yet diverse enough to encompass almost every ecosystem known to the tropical world. Nearly 1/5 of its surface area is carved by water and lush wetlands. To the south stretches the vast expanse of Lake Victoria, the largest tropical freshwater lake on Earth, and the primary life-giving reservoir that feeds the Victoria Nile as it begins its 3,000-mile march toward the Mediterranean Sea. Here, the geography continuously defies expectations. Though it sits directly on the equator under a burning African sun, Uganda's elevated plateau tempers the climate, keeping average temperatures pleasantly mild throughout much of the year. But look to the western horizon, and the landscape rises sharply into the heavens. There stand the Rwenzori Mountains, the legendary Mountains of the Moon, where glaciated, snow-capped peaks exceed 16,000 feet, looming directly above steamy, dense rainforests. It is an extraordinary equatorial anomaly, ice and snow hovering over the heart of tropical Africa. Yet, Uganda is far more than a kingdom of pristine wilderness and biological anomalies. It is a living, breathing human sanctuary, home to nearly 46 million people whose stories, heritage, and daily endurance form the true soul of the nation. Within these borders, more than 50 distinct ethnic groups, from the Buganda in the Central Kingdom to the Banyankole, Basoga, Acholi, and Bakiga, coexist in a vibrant cultural mosaic. Dozens of distinct languages echo through local village markets, yet a shared spirit of hospitality and profound resilience unites them all. Have you ever wondered how so many distinct cultures can live side by side in such harmony? The answer lies in a shared history of strength and unity, forged over centuries. Perhaps most astonishing of all is the human clock ticking at the center of Ugandan society. Uganda possesses the single youngest population on the face of the planet, with a median age of just 16.2 years. Over 3/4 of its citizens have not yet reached their 30th birthday. This is a country running on the raw, unbridled energy of youth, a generation raised on mobile technology and global connectivity, striving to build a modern economic future while honoring the ancient traditions handed down by their ancestors. How does a country balance such rapid human momentum with the urgent need to protect its fragile ecological wonders? How did this compact nation become home to over half of the world's remaining wild mountain gorillas, while simultaneously feeding millions of smallholder farming families through its rich, volcanic soil? The answers lie deep within the fabric of everyday Ugandan life, a story of survival, identity, and unseen beauty that is finally ready to be told. As we travel from the chaotic, kinetic energy of Kampala's 7 hills to the quiet, mist-shrouded peaks of windy, impenetrable forest, you will discover that Uganda is not a place you simply observe from afar. It is a country that demands to be felt. It is in the aroma of fresh-picked coffee cherries drying under the equatorial sun, the thunderous reverberation of water crushing against ancient river gorges, and the welcoming smiles of street vendors serving fresh local delicacies along bustling city thoroughfares. Every corner of this land hides a secret waiting to be uncovered. Why do the lions of Ishasha climb trees when big cats elsewhere remain grounded? How does a nation with such vast linguistic diversity maintain a shared national consciousness? And what does the future hold for the Pearl of Africa as it stands at the delicate crossroads of economic modernization and pristine wilderness conservation? We are about to embark on an exhaustive, breathtaking journey through the beating heart of Uganda, from its hidden wildlife sanctuaries and bustling metropolis to the unseen rural communities that make this nation unlike anywhere else on Earth. If you are ready for this epic journey through the heart of the Pearl of Africa, drop a comment right now telling me where in the world you are watching from. Hit that like button, subscribe to Legends TV, and turn on notifications so you never miss any of our upcoming 4K documentary adventures. Now, let us step into the unseen reality of modern Uganda. To truly grasp the magnitude of Uganda, one must step back and look at the African continent from high above the atmosphere. Positioned squarely in the geographic heart of East Africa, this landlocked nation spans approximately 241,000 square kilometers, or roughly 93,000 square miles. To place that in perspective, Uganda is comparable in land area to the state of Oregon or the entirety of the United Kingdom. Yet within this compact border lies a concentration of ecological diversity that rivals entire continents. Bordered by South Sudan to the north, Kenya to the east, Tanzania and Rwanda to the south, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo to the west, Uganda sits at the strategic crossroads of Central and Eastern Africa. But unlike many landlocked nations across the globe, Uganda is anything but dry. It is a nation literally defined, shaped, and sustained by water. Nearly 18% of Uganda's total surface area is comprised of open water, sweeping river networks, and ancient, biodiverse wetlands. When you gaze across its southern frontier, the horizon disappears into an ocean-like expanse that seems to stretch into infinity. This is Lake Victoria, the largest tropical freshwater lake on the face of the Earth, and the second largest freshwater body by surface area in existence. Spanning over 26,000 square miles, this colossal inland sea functions as the vital, life-giving reservoir of the entire region. But Lake Victoria is more than just a magnificent sheet of water. It is the cradling source for the legendary Victoria Nile. It is here that the longest river on Earth begins its harrowing 3,000-mile journey northward through deserts, swamps, and canyons to nourish northeastern Africa. Have you ever stood beside a body of water so vast that it creates its own local weather patterns and shapes the destiny of millions of lives? If you have ever experienced the sheer awe of standing on the edge of Lake Victoria or watching the Nile flow, drop a comment below and share what that moment felt like. Yet, as impressive as Uganda's aquatic footprint is, its physical topography holds an even deeper, more puzzling contradiction. Because Uganda lies directly along the equatorial line, standard geographic logic suggests it should be an unbearable cauldron of sweltering, humid heat. But nature has engineered a brilliant climatic relief: elevation. The vast majority of Uganda rests on a high, gently undulating plateau, hovering between 3,000 and 5,000 feet above sea level. This elevated terrain tempers the equatorial sun, creating a remarkably moderate climate where annual temperatures average comfortably between 64 and 82 degrees Fahrenheit throughout the year. It is a perpetual spring in many regions, where lush greenery thrives without the brutal, scorching extremes found elsewhere along the equator. Look west, toward the border of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and the gentle plateau abruptly vanishes into a jaw-dropping vertical wall of stone and ice. Here rise the Rwenzori Mountains, famously identified by ancient geographers as the legendary Mountains of the Moon, escalating to an astounding 16,762 feet at Margarita Peak on Mount Stanley. The Rwenzori Range is one of the exceptionally rare places in Equatorial Africa where permanent glaciers and snowfields endure. Imagine standing in a humid, tropical rainforest surrounded by dense bamboo and exotic mountain flora, looking up to see crystalline ice caps gleaming against the equatorial sky. These glaciated summits send crisp, freezing meltwater cascading down steep mountain valleys into the warm savannas below. How is it possible that ice and snow coexist directly above tropical jungles? It is precisely these mind-bending anomalies that make Uganda feel less like a single country and more like a collection of different worlds stitched together. If this natural paradox fascinates you, make sure to hit that like button right now and share this video with fellow travelers who love uncovering Earth's hidden miracles. Long before modern geographers mapped these mountains and lakes, human civilizations recognized the extraordinary fertility of this volcanic soil. Uganda is a rich human sanctuary, home to nearly 46 million people who represent one of the most culturally diverse demographic landscapes on Earth. Within these borders live over 50 distinct indigenous ethnic groups, each carrying its own unique linguistic heritage, spiritual traditions, and ancestral customs. The population is broadly divided into major cultural families: the Bantu-speaking peoples of the South, Central, and Western regions, and the Nilotic and Central Sudanic peoples of the North and East. In the Central region, the Buganda people, from whom the country derives its name, represent the largest single ethnic group, maintaining a rich monarchical tradition under the historical Buganda kingdom that spans centuries. To the southwest, the Banyankole and Bakiga navigate rolling cattle country and steep terraced hills, while to the east and north, the Basoga, Iteso, Lango, Acholi, and Lugbara contribute their own vibrant social structures and oral histories. Despite this immense variety, with dozens of local languages spoken across various districts, Ugandans share an extraordinary degree of cultural harmony. Indigenous languages like Luganda are widely understood, while English and Swahili serve as national bridges connecting diverse communities. But what truly binds these groups together is a deep-seated cultural ethos rooted in warmth, politeness, and unconditional hospitality. In Ugandan culture, greeting a stranger is a sacred social ritual that acknowledges shared humanity. How often do we slow down in our modern lives to truly connect with the people around us? If you believe that human warmth is what truly makes a country special, leave a comment sharing what hospitality means in your culture. Now, step into the center of any Ugandan community, and you will immediately notice something that sets this nation apart from almost anywhere else in the world. Look around at the faces in the markets, on the rural farm paths, and along the bustling city avenues. The energy is vibrant, electric, and overwhelmingly young. Uganda possesses the single youngest population on planet Earth, boasting a median age of just 16.2 years. Think about that for a moment. Half of the entire country's population is under the age of 16, and over 75% of its citizens have not yet reached their 30th birthday. This is a nation experiencing a massive demographic wave of youth. Everywhere you look, village fields are filled with energetic sports matches, and street corners buzz with young entrepreneurs using mobile technology to create new opportunities out of thin air. This youthful demographic represents both Uganda's greatest potential and its most complex systemic challenge. Raised in an era of digital connectivity, young Ugandans are eager to embrace tech innovations, modern arts, and global commerce. On the other hand, adding hundreds of thousands of young citizens to the workforce every year places immense pressure on infrastructure, schools, and job markets. How will this vibrant new generation shape the future of Africa? Will they transform Uganda into a modern economic powerhouse? Or will the strain on resources prove too great to bear? As this demographic momentum builds, the rural quiet of the agrarian hinterlands inevitably collides with the dense, fast-paced reality of urban migration. Every single day, thousands of young Ugandans pack their dreams and head toward the sprawling capital city to seek their fortune. They leave behind the quiet rhythm of farm life for the deafening roar of the metropolis. Their destination is a city built on ambition and relentless kinetic motion, a place where history and modern transformation intersect on every single corner. That place is Kampala, the legendary city of 7 hills. But what awaits these young dreamers when they arrive in the chaotic urban heart of the nation? To understand the true, unfiltered pulse of modern Uganda, we must step straight into the energetic crucible of the capital. To understand the soul of a land, you cannot merely look at its open horizon. You must venture into the places where the sunlight barely reaches the ground, where the earth remains untamed, silent, and ancient. Deep in the southwest corner of Uganda lies a landscape that feels less like a modern nation and more like a portal into a lost era of our planet. This is the Bwindi Impenetrable Forest. Its name is not a dramatic, exaggerated title created for travelers. It is a literal description of reality. For thousands of years, this primordial jungle has stood guarded by sheer volcanic ridges, tangled root systems, and a wall of vegetation so thick that entering it requires cutting your way through inch by inch. While the surrounding world rapidly industrialized, built concrete highways, and flattened forests to clear space for growing cities, Bwindi stood completely unbroken. Why did this place remain untouched when so much of Africa transformed? And more importantly, what resides beneath this impenetrable ceiling of green that makes human intrusion feel so brief and fragile? Have you ever stepped into a wilderness so ancient and untouched that you felt an immediate, overwhelming sense that you didn't belong? If you've ever experienced that humbling silence of raw nature, type wild in the comments below. Let's see how many of us have stood in places that remind us how small we truly are. It is within these high-altitude rainforests that one of the most remarkable evolutionary survival stories on Earth is currently unfolding. Here lives the mountain gorilla, a creature of immense, breathtaking power, bound to humans by nearly 98% of our shared DNA. To lock eyes with a silverback gorilla in the wild is not an experience of observing an animal in a zoo. It is an intense, quiet recognition of shared life. In those deep, amber eyes, there is intent, there is emotion, memory, structural leadership, and a profound protective instinct. Yet, just a few decades ago, the story of these gentle giants was moving rapidly toward a tragic end. Encroaching human settlements, illegal poaching, habitat loss, and decades of regional conflict pushed the world's mountain gorilla population to the absolute brink of total extinction. By the late 20th century, experts around the globe predicted a bleak outcome. Before the turn of the new millennium, these creatures would be gone forever, existing only as photographs in natural history books. Think about that for a moment. Imagine living in a world where an entire branch of our evolutionary story simply vanished under our watch. What happened next is nothing short of a miracle of human determination and ecological conservation. Uganda made a decisive, visionary choice. Instead of viewing the forest as land waiting to be cleared, or the wildlife as a resource to be harvested, the nation transformed its approach to conservation from the ground up. They recognized a simple, profound truth. You cannot save a forest by locking out the people who live around it. You can only save it by making those communities its primary guardians. Uganda pioneered a community-centered revenue model. Portions of every single permit granted to international visitors were redirected straight back into the villages surrounding the national parks. Schools were built, local infrastructure was developed. Former poachers, men who once set wire traps to feed their families, were trained and employed as official wildlife rangers and trackers, earning a steady, honorable living by protecting the very creatures they once hunted. The results of this shift were extraordinary. Over the past 3 decades, the mountain gorilla population has steadily climbed back from the absolute edge of extinction, crossing a historic milestone to exceed over 1,000 individuals globally, with nearly half of them finding sanctuary right here in Uganda. If you believe that local communities should always be at the center of saving our planet's wildlife, hit that like button right now. It helps spread this message to more viewers across YouTube who care about authentic conservation. Yet, Uganda's story of ecological survival is not confined to the cool, misty mountains of the south. As you journey north toward Murchison Falls National Park, the landscape opens up into a vast, sun-drenched horizon where the river becomes an absolute force of nature. Here, the entire volume of the Victoria Nile, a massive, surging body of water hundreds of meters wide, is suddenly forced into a narrow, rocky gap just 7 meters across. The force is staggering. Millions of gallons of water cascade over 40 meters down into a churning, frothing basin below, sending thunderous vibrations through the surrounding bedrock that can be felt long before the waterfall comes into view. The air is heavy with a permanent, rising mist that paints vivid rainbows across the sky. Murchison Falls is a dramatic reminder of the sheer, unyielding energy of the African continent. But beyond the sheer spectacle of cascading water, this river serves as the vital lifeline for an entire ecosystem. Along its banks, massive Nile crocodiles stretch out across sun-baked sandbars, while herds of elephants gather at the water's edge to cool themselves during the midday heat. Giraffes move with effortless grace across the open acacia woodlands, their long silhouettes framed by the setting equatorial sun. It is here, in the contrast between the dense, silent sanctuaries of the mountain rainforests and the roaring, expansive energy of the northern river plains, that Uganda reveals its true identity. It is a sanctuary of scale, a land where nature still dictates the terms of life. The survival of these natural sanctuaries proves that ecological loss is not inevitable. When courage, community commitment, and vision align, what was once broken can be reclaimed and protected for generations to come. As we look at these incredible landscapes, it raises a crucial question for all of us. In a rapidly changing world, how do we balance human progress with the urgent need to protect the wild places that keep our planet alive? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. I read and reply to your insights, and your voice helps shape the conversations on this channel. And if this journey through Uganda's wild heart inspired you today, make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming long-form chapters. If the mountains of Bwindi reveal Uganda's wild heart and the waters of Murchison showcase its raw power, then its high-altitude lakes hold something entirely different: its quiet, reflective memory. Tucked away in the terraced hills of the southwest lies Lake Bunyonyi. The name itself translates directly to the place of little birds, but behind its serene appearance lies one of the deepest and most geologically extraordinary bodies of water on the African continent. Formed thousands of years ago when lava flows dammed a winding mountain valley, Bunyonyi stretches into 29 distinct islands, each carrying its own history, its own solitude, and its own forgotten stories. To glide across these waters in the stillness of early morning is to step into a realm where time seems to stand completely still. There are no motorized engines breaking the silence here. Only the rhythmic splash of a wooden paddle against the cool water, the distant call of a crested crane returning to its nest, and the soft rustle of wind through the eucalyptus trees lining the shore. Have you ever visited a place so quiet that you could literally hear your own thoughts? A place where the noise of modern life simply dissolved? If you've ever found a sanctuary like that in your travels, let me know in the comments below. What was the place, and how did it make you feel? Yet, beneath this breathtaking beauty lies a past marked by profound human complexity and tragedy. Among the 29 islands of Lake Bunyonyi stands one tiny, unassuming patch of land known locally as Akampene, or Punishment Island. Decades ago, before modern laws and social shifts reshaped the region, the local Bakiga culture held strictly to tradition. Unmarried women who became pregnant outside of marriage were viewed as bringing severe dishonor to their families and communities. As a consequence, young women were taken by boat to this tiny, barren island and left alone without food or shelter. In a deep lake with freezing mountain temperatures, where swimming across miles of open water was nearly impossible for those who had never been taught, the island was designed to be a silent sentence. However, the story of Akampene did not always end in tragedy. Poor men who could not afford the traditional bride price required by custom would often row out to the island in secret, under the cover of night, rescuing the young women and taking them to start new lives together in distant villages across the lake. By the mid-20th century, as societal understanding evolved and human rights frameworks took hold, this painful tradition was permanently abandoned. Today, Punishment Island stands abandoned, a silent, sobering reminder of how far human culture can grow, heal, and transform when empathy replaces fear. If you believe that history's dark chapters should be remembered rather than erased so we can learn from them, drop a respect in the comments section right now. As we leave the Highland Lakes and journey toward the heartland of central Uganda, the landscape transforms once more. We enter the territory of ancient kingdoms that flourished long before European explorers ever set foot on East African soil. This is the land of the Buganda Kingdom, one of the oldest, most sophisticated, and most enduring monarchies in African history. Long before colonial borders were drawn across map rooms in Europe, Buganda operated as a highly organized, centralized state, complete with a complex judicial system, a standing military, advanced agricultural networks, and a rich oral tradition of governance. At the center of this kingdom sat the Kabaka, the king, whose authority was bound to the spiritual and social well-being of his people. The capital, modern-day Kampala, was originally built across 7 historic hills, each serving a specific royal, administrative, or spiritual purpose. The architecture of the ancient Buganda court was a marvel of natural engineering. Massive wooden structures woven intricately with reeds, bamboo, and bark cloth, built entirely without a single iron nail. When British explorers first arrived in the mid-19th century, expecting primitive wilderness, they were stunned to find structured paved roads, disciplined royal guards, and sophisticated court etiquette that rivaled European palaces of the era. What makes Buganda extraordinary is not just its history, but its remarkable survival into the modern age. Through the turbulence of colonization, the trauma of post-independence civil wars, and periods where traditional monarchies were officially banned by military regimes, the spirit of the kingdom never broke. The people preserved their clan structures, maintained their linguistic identity, and kept their cultural rituals alive in secret. In 1993, when traditional institutions were legally restored, the Buganda Kingdom rose once again, not as a political government, but as a powerful cultural pillar of unity, identity, and pride for millions of Ugandans. Today, in the bustling streets of Kampala, you can watch young tech entrepreneurs and university students participate in centuries-old royal customs with deep pride. It is a living bridge between an ancient past and a bold, forward-looking future. It makes you wonder, in our fast-moving, hyper-connected digital world, how do we keep our own roots and cultural traditions from fading away? Uganda teaches us that strength is not merely about surviving the storm. It is about retaining your identity after the storm has passed. From the quiet waters of Bunyonyi to the royal courts of Buganda, this land proves that memory, resilience, and hope are deeply woven into the very soil. If you found value in this story of survival and cultural pride, please take a second to hit the like button and share this video with someone who loves rich history and untold human stories. Your support directly enables us to keep researching and creating these deep dive documentaries. If you want to understand where a country has been, you look at its ancient monuments and quiet lakes. But if you want to know where a country is going, you must step directly into the roaring heart of its cities. Welcome to Kampala. a city that does not sleep, does not slow down, and never stops moving forward. Built across rolling hills overlooking Lake Victoria, Kampala is a fascinating study in contrasts. Here, decades-old minibuses and swarms of boda-bodas navigate modern asphalt alongside high-tech electric buses built right here in East Africa. Glass-faced office towers rise directly behind traditional open-air markets where the scent of roasted maize, fresh coffee, and sweet plantains fills the humid air. It is chaotic, vibrant, loud, and undeniably alive. To walk the streets of Kampala is to feel a tangible, electric energy. It is the sound of car horns blending into street music, vendor calls echoing across market squares, and laughter bouncing between cafe walls. It is a city that greets the day not with hesitation, but with an aggressive, optimistic hunger. Have you ever visited a city whose sheer energy was so contagious that it completely swept you up the moment you arrived? Tell me the most vibrant city you've ever stepped foot in down in the comments below. I'd love to see where in the world you felt that spark. Yet, the true story of modern Uganda is not found in its buildings or its roads. It is found in a demographic reality so staggering that it is actively reshaping the future of the entire African continent. Uganda possesses one of the youngest populations on Earth. Nearly 77% of the entire country is under the age of 30. More than half of its citizens are under the age of 15. Think about what that statistic actually means. While vast portions of the developed world are facing aging populations, declining birth rates, and shrinking workforces, Uganda is experiencing a massive, unprecedented wave of young human potential. This is not just a statistical fact, it is a cultural revolution. A new generation of Ugandans, digital natives, multilingual, highly educated, and globally connected, is stepping up to define their own narrative. They are not waiting for traditional pathways or external aid to build their future. They are creating it themselves, from the ground up. Take a look at Kampala's booming technology and innovation sector. Young entrepreneurs are leveraging mobile technology to solve complex local problems, building digital platforms that connect rural farmers directly to city markets, developing telemedicine apps for remote villages, and pioneering green energy solutions tailored for African communities. If you believe that the youth of today are the ultimate key to solving tomorrow's global challenges, hit that like button right now to show your support for this incredible generation. This youthful demographic explosion has unleashed a creative wave that is rippling far beyond the country's borders. In music, fashion, film, and digital art, Uganda's young creatives are taking traditional rhythms, stories, and aesthetics and fusing them with global trends. The result is an explosive, authentic urban culture that is entirely unique. Walk through the vibrant neighborhood of Kamwokya, and you will see local filmmakers producing feature-length action films with micro-budgets and boundless imagination, a phenomenon that has captured international attention and proven that storytelling is driven by heart, not just multi-million-dollar studio budgets. Stop at a roadside stall at 2 a.m. and you'll experience a beloved national ritual, ordering a fresh Rolex, a hot, handmade chapati wrapped around a fried omelette with diced tomatoes and onions. What started as an affordable street meal, created by resourceful urban vendors, has grown into a cherished cultural symbol of Ugandan ingenuity, community, and everyday life. There is an undeniable resilience embedded in this youth culture. Many of these young people face real economic hurdles, high competition, and structural challenges. Yet, their response is not cynicism. It is relentless hustle, creativity, and mutual support. Uganda's urban awakening reminds us of a fundamental truth. A nation's greatest resource is never buried in its soil, contained in its mines, or flowing through its rivers. Its greatest resource is, and always will be, the imagination and energy of its people. As this massive young generation comes of age, they carry not only the hopes of their families, but the trajectory of an entire nation on their shoulders. They are proving that legacy is not just something you inherit from the past, It is something you actively build for the future. When you look at a young, rapidly growing nation like Uganda, what gives you the most hope for the world's future? Is it technology, creative art, or community strength? Share your perspectives in the comments section below. Your thoughts and discussions are what bring this community to life. If brought you a fresh perspective on modern Africa, make sure to share this video with a friend or colleague. It takes just one click, but it helps our independent storytelling reach curious minds around the world. Throughout human history, certain places on our planet have possessed a magnetic, almost mythical pull over the human imagination. For centuries, mapmakers in ancient Rome, explorers in Renaissance Europe, and geographers across Asia asked the exact same lingering question: where does the Nile, the longest, most legendary river on Earth, actually begin? What was the mysterious source that fed the river, that birthed Egyptian civilization, nourished ancient empires, and sustained millions of lives across thousands of miles of arid desert? The answer lay hidden deep within the equatorial heart of Africa, right here in Uganda. Here in the town of Jinja, Lake Victoria, the largest tropical lake on Earth, reaches its northern edge and begins to spill over into a continuous, powerful northern torrent. This single geographical point is the official source of the White Nile. Standing on the banks of Jinja, watching millions of gallons of crystal-clear water push off on a 4,000-mile journey through Sudan and Egypt to the Mediterranean Sea, you realize you are witnessing the birth of a lifeline that has shaped human destiny for millennia. Have you ever stood at the edge of a place that felt monumental to world history? A place where you could physically feel the weight of time and geography? If you have, share your story in the comments below. What historical location left that kind of impression on you? To call the Nile just a river is to miss its true essence. It is an economic corridor, a cultural thread, and an ecological sanctuary. For the communities living along its banks in Uganda, the river is the absolute pulse of daily life. Long before sunrise, local fishermen push out into the morning mist, using techniques passed down through generations to navigate the river's changing currents. Farmers along the valley rely on its rich, fertile soil to cultivate banana groves, tea plantations, and vibrant vegetable gardens that feed surrounding towns. The river creates a unique rhythm of life. Children play along the shallow banks after school, women gather to wash fabrics and trade news, and elders sit under the shade of massive fig trees, watching the water flow just as their ancestors did centuries before them. Yet, this timeless harmony faces new pressures in the 21st century. As Uganda's population expands and its industrial ambitions grow, the demand for clean energy has transformed the Nile into a powerhouse of modern engineering. Massive hydroelectric projects like the Bujagali and Karuma dams now harness the immense kinetic force of the river to generate clean electricity for millions of homes and businesses across the nation. This creates a delicate, crucial balancing act. How does a developing nation harness its natural resources to drive modern economic growth, while preserving the vital ecosystems and heritage of the river for future generations? If you appreciate stories that explore the real-world balance between human progress and environmental preservation, tap that like button right now. It signals to the algorithm to share these balanced narratives with more viewers. Beyond energy and agriculture, the Nile has transformed Uganda into one of the premier adventure destinations on the planet. The roaring rapids near Jinja attract world-class kayakers, rafters, and outdoor enthusiasts from every corner of the globe. Here, adrenaline mixes with raw wilderness. Navigating these surging, warm equatorial waters offers a thrilling human connection to the sheer power of nature. Yet, as the sun begins to set over the river, the adrenaline fades back into a profound, tranquil peace. As twilight settles over the water, thousands of fruit bats take to the sky in silent formation above the canopy. Fish eagles call out across the water, their distinctive cries echoing off the riverbanks. The Nile slows down, reflecting the brilliant colors of the African night sky. It is in these quiet evening moments that the true spirit of the river reveals itself. The Nile does not hurry, it flows with an eternal, steady persistence, a constant reminder that while human empires rise, fall, and transform, the Earth's great natural arteries continue their journey, steady and unbroken. The Nile is a testament to continuity. It reminds us that we are all connected by the natural systems that sustain us, regardless of the borders we draw or the distances between us. Water flows from this quiet spot in Uganda to nourish life thousands of miles away, serving as a physical reminder of our shared global heritage. As we prepare for our final chapter, where we tie together the grand story of this remarkable country, I want to ask you, what has surprised you most about Uganda so far on this journey? Is it its wild sanctuaries, its royal kingdoms, its vibrant youth, or its historic waters? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. I'd love to hear what resonated most with you. And if you're enjoying this documentary series, please share this video across your social platforms. Sharing helps independent storytelling grow and allows us to keep bringing you deep, high-retention documentaries from around the globe. When Winston Churchill traveled across this equatorial territory in the early 20th century, writing in his journal, he penned a phrase that would follow this land for over 100 years. Uganda is truly the Pearl of Africa. It was a catchy title, meant to describe a distant paradise of lush greens, abundant water, and gentle climates. But for a long time, the world only saw that pearl through a simplified lens, a place defined merely by its stunning landscapes, or later, overshadowed by complex chapters of mid-century political turmoil. Yet, as we have journeyed through these 7 chapters, a far richer, far more profound reality has emerged. Uganda is not a passive gem waiting to be discovered by outsiders. It is an active, living, resilient engine of human spirit, natural restoration, and cultural pride. Its value lies not in what it offers to the traveler's eye, but in what it teaches us about survival, adaptation, and hope. If this journey across Uganda has changed how you view this extraordinary region, let me know by writing Pearl Unleashed in the comments below. Let's see how many of us completed this full journey together. To understand the future of Uganda is to understand the power of human resilience. Think back to where this story took us. We saw mountain gorilla populations rising from the brink of total extinction because local communities chose to become their guardians. We saw ancient kingdoms preserving their royal heritage through decades of turbulence to remain unshakable pillars of identity. We saw a young generation transforming urban chaos into an explosive wave of digital innovation and cultural expression. And we stood at the origin of the Nile, where life flows continuously to nourish an entire continent. These are not isolated stories of chance. They are threads of a single, powerful narrative. A country that has repeatedly looked impossible challenges in the eye and chosen to rebuild, reimagine, and rise. It proves that a nation's true strength is measured not by the absence of hardship in its past, but by the depth of wisdom and courage it extracts from those struggles. Think about your own life for a moment. Have you ever faced a period where everything felt broken, only to realize years later that it was the very thing that forced you to build something stronger? As we look toward the decades ahead, Uganda stands at a historic crossroads. It carries the immense responsibility of managing one of the world's most delicate ecological treasures while empowering one of the fastest-growing youth populations on Earth. It is a balancing act that will require wisdom, global partnership, and unyielding dedication. Yet, if history is any indication, Uganda possesses every tool necessary to lead by example. It offers the world a blueprint for community-led conservation. It demonstrates how modern progress can coexist with ancient tradition. And above all, it serves as an inspiring reminder that the story of Africa is not being written for it by outside voices. It is being authored by its own people, in their own words, on their own terms. This is the Pearl Unleashed, unbroken by its past, confident in its identity, and boldly stepping into its destiny. If you believe that stories like this, stories of authentic human progress, ecological triumph, and cultural pride, deserve a larger platform on YouTube, please hit that like button right now. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us on this long-form journey across Uganda. Creating these deep-dive documentary scripts requires weeks of research, writing, and editing, and your support is what keeps this channel alive. If you haven't already, make sure to click the subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you don't miss our upcoming multi-chapter documentary series exploring the world's most fascinating landscapes and untold histories. Before you go, take a moment to share this video on social media or send it to someone who loves deep, atmospheric travel documentaries. What global destination or untold story should we explore in our next multi-chapter series? Drop your suggestions in the comments below. We read every single response to choose our next journey. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and remember that every corner of our planet holds a story waiting to be told.